So there are a number of studies and surveys out there that show how often money can be a major pain point in marriages. And this can show up in different ways. Maybe you and your spouse argue about certain expenses.
And it was $750. $750.
Why didn't you look at the price tag?
Ouch!
Or maybe you both find yourselves making one too many impulse purchases and splurging just a little bit too much on the cars, the clothes, and the fancy restaurants. And before you know it, you don't have any money left over for the more important essential needs. So to help you and your spouse avoid these issues and make wiser spending choices, try categorizing your purchases using this easy 3-tier model. Ask yourself if the item you plan to purchase is a need to have, a nice to have, or a next level item. These categories can help you both determine whether or not a purchase is right for you, and this is a model that we personally use in our marriage and it's worked very well for us. So here's a full breakdown of what each category means and what it includes.
First up, a need to have. A need to have is anything that serves an essential purpose in your daily life. This is building in addition to your bills, but something that is absolutely necessary for you to be able to function as a household. For example, buying food for the week from the grocery store, purchasing a new pair of shoes, especially if you've worn out an old pair, or even paying to have your car repaired. You gotta get to where you gotta get to. Because need to haves are essential, they should honestly make up the bulk of your purchases.
And the second category are the nice to haves. Now, the nice to haves are a step above the need to haves. And while some of these items may not serve an essential purpose, they have the ability to add comfort and enjoyment to your lifestyle. Examples might include extra items from the grocery store that you enjoy but don't really need. For example, my wife loves fruit snacks. Those Welch's fruit snacks, Mott's fruit snacks. I try not to get those from the store too much because, my wife doesn't need to have those all the time.
But it's nice to have.
Nice to have. Yes. And other examples could include the occasional night out for dinner and a movie, a certain home appliance that maybe you've been wanting, or even that nice new shirt that you might have noticed while out shopping. Now, nice to have items could also be a more elevated version of a need to have item. For example, certain groceries would be a need to have, but getting the premium or organic versions of those groceries could be considered a nice to have based on your monthly budget. And if you've ever shopped at Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Make sure to deliberate with one another a little more and gauge how much you spend on these items based on your monthly budget or however often you budget. Too many nice to haves can leave you not having enough for the more important items you need if you're not careful.
And last, next level purchases. These are your indulgences, those things that are above and beyond what you're doing or need on a regular basis. Before making these type of purchases, you really are going to want to sit down and deliberate with your spouse. These should occur far less often than the previous two categories. Examples may include a shopping spree, even if you already have a sufficient amount of clothes, a premium level home appliance or electronic, a brand new premium vehicle, or an extravagant vacation that hits the pockets a little above the norm. The price ranges for all these categories can vary, but next level items usually have a higher price tag and may at times require financing. Because of this, it's really important that you consider saving up for them. We're sure you'd probably hate to go into debt simply because you're trying to keep up with the Joneses.
Yeah, and I mean, do you really need the brand new iPhone 21 Pro Max 5000 that transforms into a Tesla? Or would you be okay with the standard version of the iPhone or maybe the previous year's version of the iPhone? I mean, hey, the previous year version of the iPhone is probably still a very good and functional phone. I'm just saying. Now, one thing to note is that the model we've shared is not an exhaustive model by any means, and what you consider to fall within each of these categories can vary based upon your personal lifestyle as well as your financial situation. So we encourage you to use this simply as a guide to help you build healthy money habits together and discuss money more comfortably. Remember to weigh each decision in light of your values and priorities as a family, and more than likely, you'll find yourselves with less buyer's guilt and more satisfaction in your marriage in the long run.
Right, and visibility is so important when it comes to spending money as a couple. It's so helpful to know what's going in and coming out of your account. But what's the best method for you to keep track of your finances when it comes to spending money? Is it best to have a joint bank account? Or would it be best for you to just keep your finances separate? To learn more about the pros and cons when it comes to having a joint bank account, as well as helping you make the decision of which may be best for you and your spouse, check out the video in the top right. Thanks for watching. If you're new here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.